no matter what your diet, doesn't have to be super difficult nor expensive. So today I have for you 4 budget-friendly dinner recipes that came together in no time at all. For a budget meal, these country-style ribs are perfect. They are super inexpensive and really easy to make. So we're just gonna start by seasoning them with some onion powder, garlic powder, and basil. Now I usually don't do basil, but it sounded pretty good, so I'm gonna try it out for you guys. Some seasoned salt and pepper. I'm gonna flip these on the side and go ahead and season them again. For our veggies, I'm just trying to clear out our fridge. So I have half of a green bell pepper, 2 asparagus, and some squash. Seasoning this with salt and pepper. Make sure to coat it with that olive oil and place in a 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes until it is at your liking. Now our country style ribs, you could definitely cook them inside on a skillet or a cast iron, but I wanted to go outside today because the weather was so nice in Texas. So once you place your ribs on your grill, we're just gonna brush on some butter, and this is just the butter mixed with all of our seasonings. Now our flames did get a little hot, so we're just gonna pour some beer on them to make those flames go down, but of course pouring the beer made the seasoning go away, so we're just going back in with the seasoning. If you'll have another way to make the flames go down without using alcohol, let me know in the comments down below. But once you get a nice sear on one side, you're just gonna flip them over and continue to cook. Our veggies are completely done. You want to have a nice like medium rare. A little bit of pink in your pork is perfectly fine, but these turned out so good and they were so juicy. These sausage and veggies, we are just going to start off with 1 green, yellow, and red bell pepper, deseeding and cutting those into strips. And then I'm just using half of a white onion that I just kind of chopped. No right direction with this, just however you want it to be. For our sausage, I'm using this hot Italian link sausage from Kroger. I love to pick these up whenever they're on clearance. I usually do the ground sausage, but the links in this was perfect. I went ahead and left the casings on, and then we're gonna go and season with some pepper, Italian seasoning, and a little bit of parsley. Now I never usually use parsley, but my brother-in-law swore by it, so I'm gonna try it out, and then just finish it off with some garlic salt and adding all of our veggies into a saucepan. We're going to saute all of our veggies in some olive oil, and once they are done, we're just going to set to the side and then cook up our sausage. I got a nice sear on both sides and just made sure that they were fully cooked through before taking them out. If you had a bigger pan, you could definitely cook this all together, but since I don't, I went ahead and separated it, and then we are just going to place it back into a baking dish. On the bottom of our baking dish, I went in with half of a cup of Rao's marinara, or you could use whatever marinara sauce that you like. This is just a lower carb option. We're going to place our sausages right on top. Then we're going to top this with all of our veggie goodness and then pour over the rest of our Rao's marinara. So 1 cup worth of marinara sauce. Sprinkle on all the seasonings that we used before, so that garlic, basil, Italian seasoning, finishing this off with some mozzarella cheese, and we're going to place this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10-15 minutes until that cheese is nice and melted. My cheese was a little off, but it was totally fine. It didn't fully melt, but that was okay. This had so much flavor. You could pair it with a side salad or some green beans. It was so good. Now this is definitely a high protein breakfast/dinner. We're going to start with 2 squash, a red bell pepper, and some purple onion. I went ahead and cut my squash just into circles, and then with my red bell pepper, I'm just making sure that it's deseeded and getting all the white parts out. Into a saucepan, I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of butter, and then I just cooked down the onions until they were translucent. Now, I didn't use all of the veggies because I just felt like it was a little bit too much for this, but we are just going to go in with about half of the squash and that whole bell pepper, cooking this down until it is soft. We are going to go in with just seasonings of salt and pepper. I'm keeping it very basic with this because the meat is a leftover hamburger meat that we had from New Year's, and that was already seasoned, so I didn't want to have a lot of extra seasoning with this to overpower that hamburger meat. So once your veggies are done, I went ahead and took them out and placed another tablespoon of butter, and we're just going to kind of cook up and rehydrate that hamburger meat. Now for our eggs, I am going to be doing scrambled eggs, and I just went the lazy route. I went ahead and put them in my pan. I think I did about 6 eggs here. So once they are scrambled to your liking, I did go in with a little spice for these. I have some cayenne pepper, but you could definitely omit this if you don't want the pepper. And then salt and pepper to finish it off. And once they are scrambled, we are going to add back in our hamburger meat and our veggie mixture, just spreading that around, making sure that everything was cooked and well combined. I am going to finish mine off with some Mexi cheese, but this is totally optional if you don't want to have that extra dairy in there. Mix this around until it is fully coated. This was so delicious. Sheldon and I just split it right down the middle. It had so much flavor, and it took less than 15 minutes to put together. When it comes to clean eating, meal prepping is definitely a great option. It can save you so much time throughout the week. So we are just going to start with 1 cup of brown rice to 1 cup of water. And I know in the comments you are going to tell me that I didn't wash my rice and I was supposed to. Yes, I do know. So while that is cooking, we're going to cook down 1 pound of hamburger meat and then drain this. Once your meat is done, I'm going to go in with some taco seasoning and a little bit of cumin. I added just a little bit of water so that seasonings could cook down with that meat, and we're going to set this to the side. For our beans, I'm using 1 can of black beans that I'm just going to rinse and drain. Once our rice is done, I just portioned mine separately because I knew my daughter was going to eat some of the rice, and I know she's not a big fan of everything else, so I just left this to the side. To the bottom of our containers, I added in our ground beef, and I did not cook our black beans, but I have black beans, and I kind of heated up my rice but not fully cooked it. For a little bit of extra crunch, I have some diced jalapenos just to give it some more flavor too, and some red bell peppers. Both are not cooked, they are just raw. Just go ahead and place your lids on all of your to-go containers, and your meal prep is done for the entire week. If this video gave you some inspiration for your clean eating journey, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.